What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man. And tonight I wanted to jump on and talk about my predictions for the Strongman Classic coming up in just 2 days, actually less than 2 days if you're counting the hours, this Saturday, July 24th. And it marks the comeback of Big Laz, who has been retired for a bit, and Iron Bibby, who we haven't seen in a bit, and a little bit of discussion about who we all think is going to do better between the two. So if you haven't checked out the live stream for the Strongman Classic yet, there is indeed one. I've signed up for it. I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer. I need it to give all of you the in-depth analysis that I do give you. So if you go to Facebook, Big Laz actually revealed this on his channel. If you go to Facebook and look up Giants Live, you will come to the Strongman Classic. It's the page I'm displaying right now, and you see the little icon in the blue where it says going. That means that I've made my purchase, and so going in person is kind of as good as going to see the live stream as far as Facebook status is concerned. It was £4.99. I am in the US. They charged me $4.99 US, which was very pleasing to me because I thought there'd be a conversion and I'd pay a bit more, but it was $4.99. Looking forward to it. I think there's going to be some behind the scenes stuff in addition to the live content. And Giants Live, their live content has been fantastic in years past. So I hope that it's of that quality. Really looking forward to it this Saturday and checking it out live. So that being said, if you're here for the first time and you haven't liked the stream yet or subscribed to the channel, please do so. We really do appreciate that. And we do have some folks in the comments already. So what's up, Sid? What's up, Iron Warrior? And what's up, World's Strongest Blacksmith? So Iron Warrior says Laz every day over Bibby. We'll see. Let's go through all my predictions and see if you and I agree there. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too early, but let's see. And I'll give you a breakdown event by event on why I think what I think. So what's up, World's Strongest Blacksmith? You're going to watch the live stream. Can't wait for Saturday. Me too, buddy. Me too. I can't wait either. I believe it starts, what is it, noon Eastern time, I think it is, which would be 5 o'clock in the UK PM. And what's up, Sid? Ahoy to you too. Thanks for dropping by. So that being said, let's look into my predictions for the Strongman Classic 2021, the return of Iron Bibby and Big Laz. So I'll go ahead and share my Block Strongest spreadsheet so we can have a look at what I think. So first of all, just a quick review of what the events were. So the events are the front hammer hold, Hercules hold, a frame carry for speed, which would be at 400 kilograms for around 20 meters. Straps are allowed. The axle deadlift for reps, 350 kilograms with straps allowed. Again, max axle overhead press, and then an Atlas stone run. So we're not quite sure if this is the order of the events, but these are the events as far as we are aware. The competitors, for everybody who is not aware yet, are Adam Bishop. JF Caron has pulled out with the continuing recuperation of that hamstring that he tore at World's Strongest Man. Mark Felix will be there. Terry Hollins, of course, made an announcement retiring from World's Strongest Man competition at World's Strongest Man. I don't think that means he will never compete at a Giants Live contest again, but for now, he is retired from at least World's Strongest Man competition. Alexei Novikov, the 2020 World's Strongest Man champion, will be there. Luke Richardson, still recuperating with his injury, will be out. Evan Singleton will compete. Ivar Schmuckstellis will be competing. Luke Stoltman will be competing, although he did mention in a recent YouTube video about having a bit of a bicep issue going on, so I did take that into account. Then we had Tom Stoltman, who will be competing as well. And Kiliaskowski, of course, is still out with the injury. I've seen it back and forth. So if you go to the Giants Live website where they're selling the tickets, they still have his name there. But I thought I've seen Mateus on several occasions on his social say he is not competing here and will be competing later in the year. I believe in September is what he said. Return of Big Laz, Lawrence Chalet, which is getting everybody excited, including myself. And then, of course, we have Iron Bibby making his return. And then Pau Dwyer coming in for one of the injured competitors. And same thing with Gavin Bilton coming in for one of the injured competitors. So what is my research looking like? Well, Here it is. So if we go to the front hold, I did a bunch of research going back to 2019 for some guys, 2017 for some other guys, kind of digging back as far as I had to get the information that I needed. And here's kind of how it shook out. So Adam Bishop, looking at the front hold first, Adam Bishop did 10.87 seconds at Worlds. It's hard to tell without seeing that episode whether he did that because that's all he needed or he really did that poorly. I kind of think it's probably more the former, not the latter. But at 2016, Britain's strongest man, he had 3 points out of 11, so not great there either. That's kind of his track record. Then you have Mark Felix, who did 46.28 seconds at 2016, Britain's strongest man, and then 52.14 seconds at 2016. Sorry, this must be another Giants Live event. Must be a typo. But he's done considerably well in various events at the front hold and kind of is very well known for doing well at the front hold. Alexei Novikov did 32.81 seconds at Worlds this year. Evan Singleton did not quite as well at Worlds this year as Alexei did, 28.9 seconds. I am, generally speaking, bumping up Evan 1 or 2 places in various events, not all of them, but in various events because he was reported to be ill at World's Strongest Man 2021. And I'm probably going to bump Luke Stoltman down 1 or 2 places because of the lingering injury he's talking about that he's had. So that being said, we scroll down to Ivar Schmockstellis, who did 32.5 seconds at Worlds 2021. Luke Stoltman did a little better, 34.6 at Worlds and 39.92 at 2016 Britons. So you can kind of get a pattern of their performance in various years in various contests and get an idea of where they will place. Tom Stoltman did better than Luke did at Worlds. And then Big Laws is kind of renowned for the front hold. He's actually talked himself recently about being more comfortable with the front hold and the Hercules hold, where you kind of just got to stand there and you can either do it or you can't get through that pain threshold. Maybe not quite as grueling as some of the moving events. So he also has a track record of being very, very good at front hold. So as I said here, the not being in his current prime should only affect Big Laws in the other events, not the just stand there events quite as much. Iron Bibby, I couldn't find any kind of evidence for a front hold for him, so I didn't. I had nothing that I could really say there. And then if you scroll down to Pau Dwyer, he did 35.63 seconds at 2020 Europe's Strongest Man. And that was 4 points out of a possible 12. Gav Bilton did 31, just over 31 seconds at World. So that's my evidence for the front hold. Now, if we go to Hercules hold, again, you can start to see a pattern there. And so Adam Bishop did 47.39 seconds at 2019 Giants Live World Tour Finals and 28.4 at 2020 World Strongest Man, last year's World Strongest Man. So that being said, we move down to Mark Felix, who did 87.52 seconds at 2019 Giants Live World Tour Finals. And let's just stop there. There's no need to do any more research on Mark Felix. He's the best ever at Hercules hold, specifically this apparatus. And there's no need to try to make any case for that he's going to be anything other than first in that event. Alexei Novikov did about 55.5 seconds at 2019 Giants Live World Tour Finals and 41.63 seconds at last year's World's Strongest Man that he ended up winning. 68.72 seconds for Evan Singleton at 2019 Giants Live World Tour Finals. Again, a very, very good placing there. Good time. Ivar Schmockstellis is not so great, so 28.17 seconds at last year's Worlds. Then you have Luke Stoltman, 43.69 seconds at 2019 Giants Live World Tour Finals. And as I said before, his current bicep injury, I hope he heals up and it's no factor. But as far as the latest information I had, I'm saying it will knock him down a place or two, just like I'm saying Evan will probably be a place or two better in a lot of these events because he was ill at Worlds. And so that's kind of the parameters I'm going by. Tom Stoltman did not great in his previous outings with Hercules hold. He has been training it very hard, though. And I think he did go a little longer than Luke in their training. I don't think Tom's going to be near the top in Hercules hold, but I don't think he's going to be last like he was at 2020 World's Strongest Man either. So I'm giving him a little bit more credit for that, and we'll see how that all shakes out there. You move to Big Laz, Lawrence Chalet, and he did 42.68 seconds at 2016 Worlds, and that was in his group, which was second out of 6 in his group. And again, not being in his prime should not affect a just stand there type of event. Iron Bibby, 70.59 seconds at the 2019 Giants Live World Tour Finals in Hercules hold. So another force to be reckoned with there. So for Hercules hold, that's one of Bibby's primary, it looks like, events to win. Along with the axle press, which we'll get to later. Pao Dwyer did 40.11 seconds at 2020 Europe's Strongest Man, which was 4 points out of a possible 12, so not great compared to his competitors there. The apparatuses change over time, but if the competitors are changing with it, you can only compare them to each other. So that's kind of what I've done here. And so Gavin Bilton did 59.53 seconds at 2020 Europe's Strongest Man, and that was good enough for 9 points out of 12. So near the top of the heap there. Moving on to the frame carry, Adam Bishop was last in his group and 5 points in the final in the medleys of World's Strongest Man 2021 that included the frame. He had problems with the frame, both in the group and the finals when they changed it around. But this is frame only, so it'll be a little bit different from medley. He won't be tired out first by the time he gets to the frame. And he's also the current record holder on this frame. I believe it's 8.28 seconds. If you go look at that Giants Live website on Facebook that I showed you earlier, they give you clips of where like Big Laz had the record and Adam Bishop broke the record and so forth. So it's very, very interesting to see how that's evolved over time. So I kind of had to take that into consideration. I have Adam doing very well here. I don't have him breaking his record or even winning the event, but pretty close to it. I just had to knock him down a little bit because of the struggles he had with a little bit lighter frame at World's Strongest Man 2021. Mark Felix had 4 points in the group at World's Strongest Man 2021 medley. So that was, again, a medley, so different, but he excelled there. He did very well. So we have to keep that in consideration. Novikov did 9.3 meters on the group frame at World's Strongest Man 2021. He, of course, notoriously did not make the finals this year and struggled a bit with the frame. So he did all the implements before the frame and got the frame 9.3 meters, had the situation where he turned around backwards trying to get it to go further and so forth. And this frame's a bit heavier. So, and it's, if it's the one that they're showing that was used in the past in Giants Live events, it's taller too. Like it kind of comes up to your mid chest. It's like a giant wooden apparatus. So that's Alexei. Then we go off to Evan Singleton, who made it even less of a distance than Novikov did. 6.1 meters at World's Strongest Man. And again, I would bump him up a little bit because he was ill, or we hear that he was ill at World's Strongest Man. Ivar Schmuckstellis had no distance on the group frame part of the medley at World's Strongest Man 2021. I still don't think he zeros this. Like, he'll get it to move, but I don't think he's going to be at the top of the heap here or near it. Luke Stoltman had 4 points in his group at 70.98 seconds and did 20.72 seconds in the final at World's Strongest Man 2021 medleys that included the frame. So he did fairly well, although I think that bicep injury will kind of work against him in this type of event and will knock him down a little bit, will make him a little bit slower than he otherwise would have been. Tom Stoltman won the group event that had the frame, and then in the final won that one too, and did it in 18.36 seconds at World's Strongest Man 2021. So there's been some talk on their YouTube channel. Tom has talked about not being as into this contest as he was. Like, World's Strongest Man is his thing. He trains his best to win that one and puts his all into that. And not that he doesn't care about this contest, but he doesn't care about any contest as much as World's Strongest Man. So there's been talk about, he may not give his full effort on some events. And, I tried to do the math on, if Tom doesn't care, which event does that affect him on the most? And I just can't see him dominating both medleys with frames so much at World's Strongest Man and suddenly not being able to do a frame, or caring so little that he does poorly on a frame that's not part of a medley at this contest. So I couldn't really knock him down for that sort of narrative that he doesn't care about this contest. Big Loz did 400 kg, which is what this frame supposedly will weigh, and he did it for 20 meters, which is the distance we think will happen at this contest. He did it in 9.59 seconds at the 2019 Britain's Strongest Man. I believe that is the event where Adam Bishop eventually did it in 8.28 seconds. I don't know if it was the same year or not, but that's the record that Adam Bishop now holds. Loz was second with 9.77 seconds at 2017 Giants Live. He's actually very well known for being very speedy and good with this frame. Yes, he's not in his prime, so I don't have him winning the event, but I think he'll be, he'll do very well on it. I'll say that. Pau Dwyer had 2 points out of a possible 13 in the frame event at 2019 Arnold Africa, so not really one of his better events. And Gavin Bilton did 1.94 meters on the group frame at World's Strongest Man 2021, and this one's a bit heavier, so he didn't get much distance at all on the frame portion. Again, the implements leading up to that may have tired him out. We don't know, but that's kind of the evidence there. So moving into the fourth event, we have an axle deadlift 4 reps. Adam Bishop, I think, is the front runner here, right? So he did 350 kg, which is what we think this axle will weigh. He did it for 10 reps at World's Strongest Man 2021. He was beaten by Novikov in the axle deadlift at WUS Bahrain, but this is lighter. That was a series of increasing weights. This is lighter than the heaviest weight there. And also the others who beat him there aren't here. So that's all evidence, I think, bolstering the argument that Adam Bishop's going to win the deadlift. Mark Felix, an incredible deadlifter as well, did 345 kilograms for 9 at 2020 World's Strongest Man in his groups, and he was tied for the group win there. He's known for his deadlift for reps ability. I think that's not a surprise or a shock to anybody here. And then Alexei Novikov had 13 out of a possible 15 points in the axle deadlift at 2021 WUS Bahrain, so an incredible deadlifter as well. And I must mention that a lot of this evidence that I'm showing you for deadlift is not necessarily an axle. A lot of them are traditional bars. So I couldn't find evidence for axle deadlifts for everybody, but we'll have to just extrapolate what we see here into that particular event. So Evan Singleton did 345 kilograms for 4 at World's Strongest Man 2020 in his group, and did 350 for 3 at 2019 Giants Live World Tour Finals. So he seems to be kind of standard around that range. If you look at the pattern, Schmuck Stellis had 6 out of a possible 15 points on the axle deadlift at WUS Bahrain, but there was rules confusion for him, if you all recall, whether the helpers were supposed to help him load or not. And, they tried to equilibrate for that, but he took the brunt of that confusion. So a little bit of little difficulty judging him there. 12 reps deadlift for reps at 2020's Viscous Classic, though. So he is decent in deadlift for reps. Luke Stoltman had 350 kilograms for 6, which was only 2 points at World's Strongest Man 2021 finals. He had 2 out of 15 points on the 2021 WUS Bahrain axle deadlift. So that one was an axle. It was the axle deadlift of increasing weights at WUS Bahrain. Then you have Tom Stoltman, who had 350 for 8 at this year's Worlds, which was, those 2 reps make all the difference, considerably better than Luke's placing. And then you have Big Loz, who has done 320 for 9 at 2019 Britain's Strongest Man. He tied to win the max deadlift with 400 kilograms at 2018 Giants Live North American Open, although that's a max, not a deadlift for reps. But Loz can deadlift. He can certainly deadlift. If I'm off anywhere, I might be giving him a little bit too much credit here, but we'll see how the points shake out, and you can let me know toward the end. Iron Bibby maxed at 400 kilograms at 2019 WUS Dubai, did 350 kilograms for 3 at 2019 Giants Live World Tour Finals, which you can tell compared to Tom Stoltman, for example, who has a 350 for 8 really recently, is just not competitive, right? He wouldn't be near the top of the heap there. And then we move into Pau Dwyer, who did 345 for 6. And that's kind of getting more toward mid-level performance out of this group of guys. He did 350 for 1 at 2020 Europe's Strongest Man and 330 for 5 at 2020 Britain's Strongest Man. Gavin Bilton did 1 rep at the 2020 Europe Strongest Man, and I wasn't able to find what that weight was, but it was only good enough for 3 points there, so that kind of gives you an idea of where he was compared to the others. So then we move on to the max axle press. Max axle press. So Adam Bishop was last place on max log at 170 kilograms at this year's World's Strongest Man. That's a log. It's not an axle. They're not always comparable. But for some of these guys, I couldn't. Max axle doesn't seem to, at least in international competition, be done that often. So it was hard for me to find it for some of these guys. So I had to use log power just as a general gross approximation. And his log is usually around there in placings, like toward the bottom third of the competitors. Moving on to Mark Felix, he was last in his World's Strongest Man group in the overhead medley, and it's kind of a known deficiency for him. He did 160 kilograms in a max axle at 2017 Europe's Strongest Man, which is, you know, a lot for you and I and us, but not a lot for people trying to break records or win an event in the max axle. Alexei Novikov won his World's Strongest Man 2021 overhead medley group that had an axle in it. Now, that's a medley with other implements, but not everybody finished all the implements, so he's got to get some credit for that. And however, he was only 3.5 points in max log at the Shaw Classic. Again, that's log, not axle. Evan Singleton did 185 kilogram and shared second place out of 12 competitors at 2019 Giants Live North American Open. And then Ivar Schmockstel is 2 points in the overhead medley at World's Strongest Man 2021, and he failed the axle this year at World's Strongest Man, but heard later that he had an injury. So that may have contributed to failing the axle or deciding not to push himself through the axle. Luke Stoltman had 160 kilogram max axle at 2017 Europe's Strongest Man, but even his log is up 25 kilograms from 2019 to 2021. So his overhead pressing is improving by leaps and bounds. And I would imagine that would translate over to axle as well. So 160 would probably lose an axle event. It'd probably be last or close to it. But again, his log is up so much, I would imagine his axle is up considerably as well. Tom Stoltman had 9 out of a possible 12 points in 2016 contest where he did max axle. And he's a better presser now than he was then. So there you go. And Big Laws did 180 kilogram max axle at 2017 Europe's Strongest Man. He mentioned recently during his prep that he felt 180 was doable for this contest, the Strongman Classic 2021. And so 180 is going to be good enough to get him not a win, but not terrible either. So we'll see how that all shakes out. Iron Bibby's done a 207 kilogram max axle in competition at 2018 Giants Live World Tour Finals. He may have done other things in prep, but that's what I found in competition. Pau Dwyer, I couldn't find anything, but is usually near the bottom of the list in logs, so he probably is around there in axle as well. And Gavin Bilton, again, I couldn't find anything for him either on axle, but he had a 170 kilogram log at 2020 Europe's Strongest Man. And then we move into what more than likely will be the last event of the contest, and that is the Atlas Stone Run. So Adam Bishop did 4 out of 5 stones in 30.62 seconds this year. Mark Felix, 5 stones in 25.12 seconds at 2020 Britons, 5 stones in 26.53 at 2019 Giants Live World Tour Finals, which was good for 11 out of 13 points. So a good stone lifter there. Novikov had 14 out of 15 possible points at Bahrain this year and 7 out of 10 at the Shaw Classic and World's Strongest Man 2020. So an exceptional stone lifter, maybe not the top 3 or 4 in the world, but not that far off from it. Evan Singleton, as far as I'm aware, is still rebuilding after his 2020 bicep injury, and among kind of the lower performers in Atlas Stones, he has mentioned that that's one of his current deficiencies that he's still working to rebuild. Ivar Schmockstel has had 12 out of 15 points at Bahrain this year in the Stones, and then Luke Stoltman, 10 out of 15 points at that same contest, so not quite as good as Ivar's. And then you have Tom Stoltman, who needs no introduction. I just wrote the best ever. There's no doubt that he's going to win the Atlas Stones, so no need for numbers there. And then we have Big Laws, who had 5 stones in 26.42 seconds at the 2019 Britain's Strongest Man, so a decent stone lifter as well. Iron Bibby zeroed it at 2019 Wuss Dubai, 3 points in 2018 and 2019 Giant Slide World Tour Finals, and the 2017 North American Open. So Iron Bibby has traditionally struggled with Atlas stones. Pao Dwyer had 8 points to Gavin Bilton's 5 at 2021 UK Strongest Man, so we can kind of compare where we think they'll each fall. And Gavin Bilton had 5 out of 8 points at 2021 UK Strongest Man, which again, Pao Dwyer got all 8 points. He won it. And he didn't complete all the stones at 2019 UK Strongest Man. So, that being said, what do I think the final predictions are going to be? Well, let's take a look. Surprise, surprise, I've blacked them out. So let's have a look. Who's going to come into 11th place with 23.5 points? Comprised of 4 points on the front hold, 7 on the Hercules, 3 on the frame, 1.5 on axle deadlift, 5 on the axle overhead press, and 3 on Atlas stones. It is Gavin Bilton. So 10th place, I have Pao Dwyer, and that will be 24 points. 3 points for the front hold, 5 for the Hercules hold, 1 for the frame, 6 for the axle deadlift, 3 for the axle overhead press, and 6 on Atlas stones. Ivar Smockstellis will come in 9th with 27 points. Adam Bishop will come in 8th with 31 points, and this is where my buddy Hunger Smash Fitness and I really differ quite a bit. He has Adam, I think, 2nd, if I remember correctly. So we're kind of way off from each other, at least there. Not so much in a lot of the other picks, but at least there. And so I have I have Adam not doing that well on the front hold, although when he did it with Laz on a video, he did fairly well. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong there. Hercules hold, as we saw, not great there. Frame, I think he will do very well, 9 points. Axle deadlift, I think he wins with 11 points. The overhead press, he struggles a bit with 3, and Atlas stones, 4 points. Iron Bibby will come in 7th place. So for the opening question that we had when we got on this stream about who will do better, Laz or Bibby, it's obviously Laz in my opinion. So I think Iron Bibby gets 31.5 points. And I might be way off here because I couldn't find any front hold evidence for him or information. If he does really well in front hold, it changes his placing quite a bit here. So I only gave him 1 point on front hold. I don't know, not convinced his endurance is the best among this field, so we'll see how that shakes out. Hercules hold, he's incredible. I think he comes in 2nd place with 10 points. Frame, I have him at 7 points, so doing very well there. Deadlift, not so well, 1.5 points. Axle overhead press, he's definitely going to win with 11 points. And Atlas stones, 1 point. So everybody in this field of guys will beat him. Coming in 6th, I have Evan Singleton at 34.5 points. So he'll do 5 points on the front hold, 9 on the Hercules hold. Evan, a great Hercules holder. Frame carry, 5 points for him, 3.5 on the deadlift. I think he'll do exceptional on the overhead press, coming in 2nd place, and 2 points on the Atlas stones. Coming in 5th place overall, I have Luke Stoltman. So Luke Stoltman, who I think would do even better if not for that bicep injury that he's nursing, will come in with 39 points. I think he gets the majority of his points on the front hold, on the frame, the deadlift, and specifically the overhead press and the Atlas stones. So Luke, renowned for his log. I think Tom may be a little bit better axle presser than him, though. So that's why I came up with that for Luke Stoltman. 4th place goes to Big Laz, Lawrence Chalet. So for everybody who thinks that Laz is going to win this whole thing, I mean, he would correct you. I don't think he's going to come in after a layoff and beat world-class guys who were just at World's Strongest Man and win 1st place. Don't take me wrong. I hope he does. I'm a huge fan of Big Laz, but I think it's a little bit unreasonable to think he's going to win the whole thing. My buddy Hunger Smash Fitness has some evidence saying he will. So if you haven't checked out his predictions, you should go and check them out and see if you agree with his evidence. But I have Laz doing exceptionally well. He's not going to suddenly forget how to do a front hold. So 2nd place there. Hercules, I have him doing fairly well with 8 points. Same with the frame, 8 points. He drops points on the deadlift, 3.5. Overhead press splits for 6.5 points there and 5 points on Atlas stones. If you can convince me where I went way too high on him, let me know. I don't think I did. I mean, I gave him credit on things that he's really good at that kind of age and rust won't diminish. So there you go. And here's our podium, number 3. Dun, 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 dun. Alexei Novikov comes in 3rd with 41.5 points. 7 points on the front hold. 6 on the Hercules hold, 4 on the frame. He didn't show me that much on the frame at Worlds, and I'm a little trepidatious there. 8 points on the axle deadlift, 6.5 on the overhead press, and 10 points on the stones for Alexi. I think he's going to come in second on stones to you-know-who, who's in one of these top 2 places who we haven't seen. So speaking of silver medal, second place goes to, is it Tom? It is Mark Felix. So I shocked myself a bit, but if you look through these events, it kind of makes sense. Front hold, Mark is a renowned front holder, right? Everybody will say so. Hercules hold, he's the best in the world at. So I have him winning both of those. Frame, he's an incredible good mover with great grip, right? So 10 points there. He's a great deadlifter for reps. It's like these events were made for Mark Felix. So I gave him 10 points there as well. Overhead press, he comes in last, but he did so well on all these other events that he's really up there with 50 points. So Atlas Stones, he's a decent stone lifter too. So 7 points there. And of course, that means I think Tom Stoltman, despite any apathy going into this, any perceived apathy, I think he's still going to win it, right? I couldn't find an event that said if Tom doesn't care as much about this contest as he did about Worlds, where that's going to affect him. Like maybe the front hold, but I still have Mark Felix and Laz beating him at the front hold. And so maybe he drops a couple points there, but he'd have to drop more than 3 points to not win, right? And I don't think that's going to happen. Hercules hold, like I said, I gave him a few extra points because he's been working hard at it, and I don't think he's going to suddenly not care at something he's working really hard at prep to improve, so I gave him 4 points there. Frame, I have him winning. He dominated it at Worlds. He's going to dominate it again. Axle deadlift, I have him coming in 3rd place there, so 9 points. And then the overhead press, same thing, 9 points. And Atlas Stones, nobody's touching him, 11 points there. 53 points for Tom Stoltman. So there you go. That is your placings for the Strongman Classic, your podium. Tom Stoltman will win the 2021 Strongman Classic, followed by Mark Felix, 2nd place. Alexei Novikov in 3rd place. That is your podium. Big Law's Lawrence Chalet will come in 4th. Luke Stoltman, 5th. Evan Singleton, 6th. 7th place will go to Iron Bibby. 8th will be Adam Bishop. 9th, Ivar Schmuck Stellis. 10, Paul Dwyer. And 11, Gavin Bilton. So let's go have a look in the comments and see what I've missed before we wrap it up for the evening. So let's see. Hey, Kathleen, what's up? Nice to see you. And for anybody who's here, if you like what you're seeing and you haven't liked the stream yet, please go ahead and do that and subscribe. Really do appreciate that. Let's see. World's Strongest Blacksmith says Bibby is going to put the axle record of the log for the first time in history. I think you mean, are you saying he's going to beat both of the records hold both records at the same time? That may be what you mean. Hate CBS Sports, tried watching World's Strongest. Man, oh yeah, that was tonight. That's right. Well, I'm glad you're here, Kathleen. It sucks that you hated it and whatever they did wrong, but I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Everyone watching on the Facebook page for the Strongman Classic, I signed up today, so I mentioned that at the beginning. The pricing was funny because it was £4.99, so I thought it was going to be higher in US dollars, and they charged me $4.99 US, so that was a nice surprise. What's up, Hunger Smash Fitness? Ivars is going to win second cop. He's messing with me because I did a similar joke on his channel when he did his predictions. Iron Warrior doesn't see the axle record falling on that day. Yeah, it depends when it is. Like if it's the first event, then maybe, but it's hard for records to fall, in my opinion, unless there's a show built totally around them where it's the only thing happening, or it's a guest lifter who's doing just that event, or it's early in the event's lineup. But if the axle is really the 5th event, like I have it here, then it'll be tough. They're going to tire out. Kathleen, does Eddie still have the record? As far as I'm aware, he does. As far as I'm aware, he does. I think it's 216 kilo. So I think 217 would beat it. Tyler says, Bibby did 52 seconds in a front hold in training. I'll see if I can find the video. Okay, so then I might have to just be wrong because I don't think I'm going to change this again. So I'll just have to be wrong about that. So if he did 52 seconds in a front hold in training, that would put him in the top 3rd, right? I got burned a lot on looking at too much training footage for Worlds. So, rather than putting a heavier focus on contest performance. So both are important, but contest performance, I think I've learned, is more important. people can make things look like they want to in prep, and sometimes they make it look better than their best, and sometimes they make it look worse than their best. So, but if he did 52 seconds in a front hold, that puts him at a certain tier that is not a low tier. So it's good. Awesome. Let's see. The frame is with straps, right? Yes, as far as I've heard, it is with straps. That's right. Big Laws was saying on his channel, I think he said like somebody asked him why is it with straps, and he said the weight wouldn't be liftable without straps, if I remember correctly. Let's see. And yeah, Hunger Smash Fitness jumped in with the info while I was talking, probably sharing my screen. Thank you, buddy. So yeah, the frame is with straps. Usually it's not allowed, but I think with this comp it makes sense, and it's kind of nice for the athletes. I would agree. Hunger Smash Fitness is an athlete. He does compete, so he's speaking from experience. So thanks for that. And let's see. You had to step away for a minute, but I went, no, I didn't go over your comments. I'm doing all the comments right now, buddy. So there you go. All the comments done right now. So yeah, just wanted to hop on, give you a kind of Big Laws versus Iron Bibby. I know it's not a head-to-head. There's a bunch of other guys there, but they're the two returning, and kind of get everybody's opinion of who you think was going to do better. Again, my opinion, Big Laws. Hunger Smash Fitness thinks Laws is going to win the whole thing. Head on over to his channel and check out his prediction video as well and see his evidence for that. I think he'll come in fourth. I think a lot of people online are saying maybe fifth is attainable for him, so I might not be that far off. So based on all of the comments that all of you have given me today, it seems like I might be really off on Bibby's front hold, but we'll see what happens with the rest. And I don't know, something tells me I've done something wrong with Adam Bishop too, but we'll see. These are the prediction I'm sticking with. This is the evidence I had available, and I'm very excited to watch this on Saturday and see what unfolds. So, hey, Big Laws, if you're watching, hope you like this. Hope you didn't think I was biased in any way. I don't have you winning, even though I consider us friends. And there you go. Laws doesn't like when I, if I ever pick friends, which I never do. Martins does sometimes, but Laws doesn't like if I pick friends to win events. So yeah, so impartial, Stoltman, Felix, Novikov. Felix really surprised me, but again, looking at these events, you can't doubt it. Thanks again, everybody, for joining me this evening on this official Strongman Classic 2021 prediction live stream. Enjoy watching it on Saturday, and we'll talk again after to see how it all unfolded. Thanks again for joining me, and of course, as always, until next time, ciao, homie.